Episode 70 starts with a POV focusing on a few cameramen. One throws a toilet paper grenade and blows up a few toilets within the building. Another cameraman uses a flamethrower to completely burn 2 toilets alive. After seeing this, the POV turns around to see several cameramen running away except for one. The cameraman shooting his pistols tries to hold off the toilets until eventually he gets blasted. Now before we progress any further with this episode, look at the bottom right corner. That doesn't seem to be a cameraman's body. And if you look even closer, you can see a skull right next to this body. This is a human. This is subtle foreshadowing for what's to come in future episodes. After all the cameramen die, the POV pulls out a giant laser gun and absolutely destroys every single toilet in his path. He continues to fly onwards and destroys even more toilets as he goes along his path. After destroying some toilets, the POV turns around to see a line of heavily armored toilets coming out from what seems to be an army base. Another toilet then enters the scene to try and distract the POV, but the POV ends up wiping through this toilet and also a few more. After killing off the distractions, one of the heavily armored toilets shoots a rocket at him. The POV turns around and immediately starts to use his laser gun to try and kill off the toilet, but the toilet is heavily armored. The POV continues to use his gun until he realizes that his efforts aren't really doing anything. The toilet aims at him, but gets distracted by an explosion in the distance. The toilet and the POV turn around to see Titan Cameraman coming into the scene. Titan Cameraman ends up destroying every single toilet. After he kills off the last toilet, a flying toilet comes in and tries to use his laser guns to kill off Titan Cameraman. But this toilet ends up getting destroyed by Titan TV Man's blade. The POV turns to see Titan TV Man epically standing on a hill. The POV turns around again to see Titan Speaker Man flying in. Once Titan Speaker Man lands, Titan TV Man signals for Speaker Man to stand still. TV Man then gives Speaker Man some of his energy from his core. After getting the energy, Titan Speaker Man is overflowing with power. The POV turns around to see an army of toilets approaching them, then quickly turns back around after Titan Speaker Man lets out a battle cry. He uses his newfound energy to quickly dispose of the toilets. As Titan Speaker Man flies through the air, killing off the toilets, Titan Cameraman grabs an acid gun off of a stray flying toilet and uses it to kill the toilet. After this, Titan Speaker Man reappears. A fleet of acid toilets then encircle Titan Speaker Man. And what Titan Speaker Man does next is just absolutely crazy and epic at the same time. He rises up and quickly spins around with his core laser activated. Every single toilet starts to fall. And once he's done, he spins right on top of a little mound and just sits there watching all the toilets fall before him. Titan TV Man then gives some support to Titan Speaker Man and uses a Roblox face to do it. After this, the POV turns around to the sound of a toilet emerging behind them. Well, this is a familiar face. This is one of the OG toilets, DJ Toilet. After the DJ Toilet makes a grand reappearance, he instantly gets destroyed by the Astro Detainer. The Detainer looks around at his opponents. Titan Cameraman tries shooting some of his energy balls towards the toilet, but the toilet instantly returns his attack towards Titan Cameraman. Titan TV Man tries to get a shot in, but the toilet quickly dodges the attack. The toilet then smiles and the POV turns towards Titan TV Man, who is in an attack-ready position. The POV turns back around to the sound of the toilet's laughter. He smiles for a bit, then fades his smile into a serious look. The Astro Detainer then speaks directly to us. Instead of the Skibidi language, the Detainer uses actual English to speak towards us. The toilet says, in the middle of his sentence, however, Titan TV Man tries to stab him with his blade, but the Detainer is too quick and grabs it off of his arm and sends it right back towards TV Man. The toilet leaves the scene with a smile on his face. The POV turns around to see that Titan TV Man caught the sword with his arm. He pulls the blade out of his arm and his screen expression becomes angry. The POV turns around to see the Alliance woman flying in front of him. The POV points towards the base. The woman look up at him, then for some reason look back down towards his gun. Wow. An innuendo in Skibidi Toilet. That's kind of funny, actually. After this, the POV flies in towards the base. And as he's attacking, the POV switches back to Plunger Man. The group looks towards Plunger Man. Then, the elevator starts to shake and everything goes dark. The group turn on their flashlights, and if you pay close attention, you can see something directly to the left of Dark Speaker Man. As the cameraman in the middle is looking to his left, this thing directly next to Dark Speaker Man turns out to be a silhouette of a cameraman staring staring directly towards Plunger Man. This was originally thought to have been a rendering error, but Boom later confirmed that this was in fact intended. Loud banging noises come from the ceiling and it eventually bursts open. Plunger Man looks up and sees a cameraman, but this turns out to be a toilet who set this dead cameraman up with a bomb. The toilet throws the cameraman down and it explodes. The toilet then jumps down and stabs the cameraman directly in front of him. Once the group manages to blind the toilet then tries blowing itself up. The impaled cameraman looks towards the group, then back at the toilet and drags it into the hole. Plunger Man holds out his hand towards the cameraman as if trying to tell him not to do this, but it's too late. An explosion goes off and Plunger Man turns to see the cameraman next to him with a low hanging head. He walks over to grab his fallen comrade's gun. The elevator then starts to shake. Dart Speaker Man instantly gets the two other cameramen to safety. Plunger Man jumps off the elevator and uses his Wolverine claws to climb up a wall. The elevator explodes below him. He looks down and then back up. Dark Speaker Man holds out his hand to try and help Plunger Man up, but Plunger Man is still not over what Dark Speaker Man did. He slaps his hand out of the way and climbs up to the next floor. Dark Speaker Man has his head held low, seemingly ashamed. Lucky Cameraman points to the left. Plunger Man readies his weapon, and the group start to make their way left. Plunger Man looks to the right to see a toilet patrolling the area, then looks behind him to see another toilet patrolling the area. The group dim their lights and the POV switches to a green hue. The group sneakily traverse to the next door, but then instantly stop once the lights turn on. The toilets are now alerted to the presence of this group. Lucky Cameraman instantly opens the door and runs into the next hallway. He opens the other door and prevents a toilet from entering into the hallway they are traversing through. He opens one final door, which leads to a giant room. They make it in and the door shuts behind them. Plungerman looks around to see the room full of Alliance gear. After he looks around the room, he focuses on a piece of paper. This paper shows the Astro Assailant and the Scientist's toilet. He puts the paper down and looks up at a poster of the secret agent shaking hands with what seems to be a business person. So according to this poster, the secret agent took over the Alpha Hills lab on February 7th, 1979. This is kind of a cryptic lore drop because all we know now is that the secret agent was a part of the Alpha Hills Lab Corporation. What could be the significance of Alpha Hills and the secret agent? After Plungerman is done looking at the poster, he turns to Lucky Cameraman, who is holding a book with the head of the TV race on it. Lucky Cameraman seems to be confused as to why the toilets have a book with information from the TV race. Could the TV race be traitors, or did the toilets just learn information about them over the course of this conflict? After this, Lucky Cameraman gets stabbed and thrown to the side. A toilet we've seen before in episode 42 makes a surprising return. He flashes his TV screen with a bright red light. Plungerman and the other cameraman both stare into the bright red screen and slowly move their hands up to their heads to decapitate themselves. If you pay attention, there are words quickly flying up and down as Plungerman is in this trance. These words say, "End yourself," backwards. Before the toilet can get to the two cameramen, Dark Speakerman comes in to push them out of the way of the TV beams. Plungerman gets pushed back and puts on the lens that he received from the fallen cameraman member back in episode 68. He puts it on and turns around to see that the other cameraman did not have a protective lens and watches him kill himself right there. Dark Speakerman struggles with the toilet and gets beat up a little until Plungerman pulls out his spiky plunger and destroys the TV screen. Plungerman then shoots his gun towards the eyes of the toilet, which end up blinding it. Dark Speakerman gets up and uses his speaker to deafen the toilet. After doing this, Plungerman walks up towards the toilet, pulls out his spiky plunger, and stabs the toilet in the face, which ends up killing it. Plungerman looks at Dark Speakerman, who nods his head. He goes towards Lucky Cameraman and grabs the device the secret agent had given him. He picks it up and analyzes it for a second. After analyzing, he looks at the body of Lucky Cameraman, then quickly turns around to see Dark Speakerman destroying the glass casing of the items presented before them. Plungerman does the same. After he does this, he pulls out the device and opens the door. As the door is opening, Plungerman walks towards Dark Speakerman. If you look at the bottom corner of where the dead toilet is, you'll see a random toilet egg just chilling there. For those who don't know, this is a reference to the streamer Steak. Kind of funny how Boom went through with actually adding this into the episode, just because a streamer wanted him to do it. Steak will be kind of important in the future, so keep him in mind. The two exit the room and go to the far left of the hallway. Plungerman walks towards another door. This door opens, and the POV of Plungerman develops a transmission error and recording error. A toilet exits the room. Plungerman braces himself to fight the toilet, but then quickly realizes that he's turned invisible. He looks back towards the toilet, and we see that Dark Speaker Man is also invisible. As the toilet is leaving, we get to see a quick glimpse at a cameraman with a green light. Plunger Man turns around, and Dark Speaker Man motions for the two of them to enter into the room. The door begins to close until Plunger Man uses the secret agent's device to open it back up. As the door is reopening, we are introduced to the scientist's toilet having a conversation with the secret agent. As the conversation ends, we see the secret agent with a smile on his face.